Without any further delay, I'm going to introduce Rich. Rich and I go way back. He worked with us with another vendor, and he's a great presenter. So we're glad to have him on the webinar series this week. So Rich, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Rick. I hope everyone is well. I'm sure everybody is just so excited to learn about Ring and the new products. I'm going to go through this as quickly as possible. I'm going to say all the typical tropes that trainers say, and we'll get that out of the way now. So it's great to be here. I'm glad you're here, wasting everyone's time. I'm just kidding. So we're going to go through this really quick. I'm going to talk about some of the new products that are here, some of the new products that are coming out very, very shortly, and kind of take a little bit of a side turn to talk about things that are off the shelf, but not necessarily solutions that are off the shelf. So we'll talk about our mission and story, what the 3 rings of security mean, review the Ring alarm, doorbells and cameras, new products, and then we'll go over some setup and benefits, and then we'll finish up with any questions you guys may have. I don't believe I can hear you, so any questions you raise, just please ask them in the question field, and Rick and I will do our best to answer those as quickly as possible. All right, guys?
Thanks, Rich. That was one of the things I forgot to say. So if anyone has any questions during the duration of the session, please type it into the questions tab. You'll see a dashboard on your right-hand side. And at the end of the session, we're going to have live Q&A with Rich, and I will moderate and ask all of your questions, and we'll stay until Rich has answered everyone's questions. So thanks, Rich.
I guess I'm at the DoorDash and pizza or something to answer all the questions. So going ahead and get started here. The mission of Ring has always been to make neighborhoods safer. We do that by delivering affordable products and services to our neighbors and what we call our customers. So all of the products that we invent, all of the devices that we bring to market are all designed to make the neighborhood safer, not necessarily just the home, but looping all of our neighbors together to create kind of a ring of security around the entire neighborhood. So as new products come forth over the next year, over the next 2 years, we're going to continue to develop those, all in a means to make neighborhoods safer. So Ring's current line of devices, they give neighbors peace of mind on the inside, it's smart security outside, but it all started at the front door. From 2013 to now, we've got Ring offices in over 100 countries, 2,500 team members, and last year, over 3,000 individual crimes were deterred, and then 2,800 incidents were resolved. Some incredible analytics that we have as a security company. And it's no short part to what you guys have been doing out in the field, installing these products correctly into our neighbors' homes. So the 3 rings of security is peace of mind inside with our inside cameras and whole home security with the Ring alarm, smart security outside with the video doorbells, the cameras, or even our smart lights now. And then the 3rd ring is the entire neighborhood with the Ring Neighborhoods app. It's a separate standalone app for customers who don't own Ring products or will soon to own products. It's a wonderful app that you can give your clients when you're doing a pre-sales consultation to allow them to kind of get excited about the products and think about all the possibilities when they're seeing their neighbors' videos popping up that happen just right around the corner. So the Ring alarm is kind of the hub for the home. It's a fully fledged Z-Wave hub. It's very easy to install. If you have a securities license, you are able to sell this and install this into your customers' homes. Using smart and expandable, it's got Wi-Fi, hardwired network connection, as well as cellular backup. And part of the Ring Protect Plus plan allows for 24/7 professional monitoring for just $10 a month. So the 5-piece kit, which is available, is the base station, wireless keypad that is fully rechargeable or powered via micro USB, 1 motion detector, 1 contact sensor, and 1 Z-Wave range extender. You can add additional as the job increases or decreases, but this is what the basic 5-piece security kit for $199 retail is at your local distributor. We have Ring alarm accessories like the smoke and carbon monoxide listener that mounts next to existing smoke alarms, the flood and freeze sensor, which will alert you if there's flood underneath the kitchen sink or in the sump pump area. If the power is going out, you'll be alerted no matter where you are. And then a solar security sign that is illuminated at night to ward off any more unsavory people at the front door, let's put it that way. So because that is a Z-Wave hub, we actually utilize a lot of the Z-Wave products like locks from Schlage, Yale, Kwikset, Dana-Lock, more. We also have interactions with dimmers, switches from Leviton and OnQ, and almost, I think, over 200 or 300 Z-Wave devices can interact with our system. And the newest product is the Ring Retrofit. This actually is coming out very, very soon. I would say in the next couple of weeks. And it allows you to take your existing hardwired panel, take those 8 zones of hardwired contact closure, and then connect them wirelessly to the Ring alarm. So now when you go into a home that's already outfitted with a DSC or an older system that has these hardwired contact closures, you're able to utilize those and not have to use the wireless sensors. The retrofit alarm kit is $199 and it goes alongside the 5-piece alarm kit. And I believe as of today, we'll be accepting pre-orders. So now we'll cover the doorbells and the cameras. Needless to say, we've got a doorbell for every situation, either powered, battery, no wire present, PoE, from the $100,000 home to the $3 million home. We're able to cover a broad level of installations. The newest one being the Peephole Cam allows for your customers who either live in an apartment or townhome or live in have a second home, like in Miami, where they want to be able to monitor that property from anywhere in the world. Peephole Cam simply replaces the existing peephole in the door. It allows you to have things like knock detection. So if someone knocks on the door instead of ringing the bell, you'll still get alerted that there's somebody at the door. Privacy features to block out that neighbor that you didn't want to see, or ignore zones with other blackouts, and then toggling audio on and off depending upon your state and local government. It's $199. It has got a replaceable battery that recharges after about 2 hours, and the battery lasts anywhere from 8 months to a year and a half. 1080p video, full two-way conversations, as well as a fully integrated peephole that you can have a privacy filter on as well. From there, we've got the Ring Video Doorbell Classic. Please don't sell this. Just kidding. It's our original. It's 720p resolution. It's $99. If you don't have wires, you have to take it off, take it inside, and charge it with the micro USB. The Ring Video Doorbell 2 is a pretty massive step up. Provides a replaceable battery. It is wired or wireless. So if you have existing doorbell wires, you can utilize this. Also has replaceable faceplates. So I don't know if you guys saw the advertisements over Halloween. We had Halloween themed faceplates that the homeowner could purchase. We just discussed the Ring Peephole Cam. The Ring Video Doorbell Pro is hardwired only, and this is the product that was kind of designed for you guys, the custom integrators. And then at the last bit is you take that Doorbell Pro, stick it in a flush mount solution, and make it PoE. You've got the Ring Video Doorbell Elite. 4 different finished plates inside of it, Ethernet ports, as well as a PoE injector is included. And then you've got the strength and reliability of a hardwired network connection. Security cameras kind of expand upon that, because now that you've got the front door, you can then move the conversation to the backyard or the side yard and provide security solutions and camera solutions across anywhere on the property via hardwired from our floodlight cam, or our spotlight cam wired to battery powered or solar powered from the spotlight cam. They range anywhere from $199 to $249. These is a great solution, a great way to add onto that dollar figure once you're finishing up your bill. And as I discussed a little bit earlier, the Ring Neighbors app. This app is something you can provide your customers to download and experiment with before you even get to the job site, allowing you to have a little bit more trust when you're going to install it, as well as having them get a little bit more excited and be a little bit more open to adding additional Ring devices before you even get to the job site. So when you're having the conversation and they ask you about these Ring cameras, have them download the app. They can look to see their real crime map and what their neighbors' videos are showing in real time. So I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but about a year ago, Amazon did purchase Ring, so we are part of the Amazon family. And our integration with Alexa, I won't say the other word because I don't want anybody else's to be triggered. Ring and Alexa are kind of intertwined and really in depth together. So you can do everything from our video devices to show the front door and talk to the front door, or even if you're washing your hands and the front door rings and you have an Echo Dot, you can have Alexa answer the front door from that Echo Dot and have a two-way audio conversation without video. Another unique thing is when you have an Amazon Fire Stick or Fire Cube connected into this video, the 8x8 matrix, when you say, Alexa, show me the front door on the Fire TV, that will then go to your video distribution system. Now you'll have the front door on every home or every television inside your home. You can also do things like arm and disarm the alarm, turn on and off Z-Wave enabled switches and lights, as well as locking and unlocking the front door. Other unique things that we can do through Alexa and through everything else is to be able to give you access to the alarm codes and the door lock. So when I come home and I enter my unlock code on I believe I have a Yale lock, that unlocks and disarms the alarm at the same time, and then I'll get a notification as well. When you're in away mode with the Ring alarm, all of the Echo devices then turn into glass break sensors. And this is just going to continue to get more and more integrated as things go further down the line. So some of the new products, this is the brand new stick-up cam. I've got two flavors. I've got the plug-in version and the battery version. The battery has a battery. The plug-in has a plug, but they are the exact same camera on the inside. So if you have a battery and you wanted to hardwire it, just simply buy a plug. And if you have a plug and you wanted to put a battery on it, simply buy a battery and install it. These are $99, so they are a lot less expensive than the previous generation at $179. And you can provide these inside the home, outside the home, hardwired, or using a solar panel. These also have an integrated 110 decibel siren. Now, if $99 is a little bit steep for your customer, you can then go to just the indoor cam. The indoor cam is very, very tiny, and I'll show you a size comparison on the other side. I call it the Vern Troyer or the Minion cam because it is very tiny and it looks just like a Minion. Powered via micro USB only, and an indoor only, it mounts to a tabletop, or that bottom plate will actually attach to the wall with a simple Phillips head screwdriver. That is $59. So here's kind of the comparison between the two. The stick-up cam is dual powered, whereas the indoor cam is only micro USB. The stick-up cam is indoor, outdoor, and the indoor cam is indoor only. $99 versus $59. Now for the integrators who love PoE, and I love PoE just as much as anybody else, all of our products that have the Elite nomenclature via the Doorbell Elite and now the Ring Stick-Up Elite, which will be available in December. This is a PoE powered stick-up cam, mounted to the table, to the wall, or to the ceiling, powered over Ethernet, can be used indoor or outdoor. A lot of really good scenarios with this, and I'll talk about this one for just in a few minutes, but utilizing this outside is a really good solution. So the Ring Smart Lighting was unveiled earlier this year, having battery-powered solutions that keeps the electrician outside of the job. These products are powered via alkaline batteries, just C and D cell batteries, lasting anywhere from 6 months to a year. They're weatherproof and they're utilized to be outside. They also have integrated motion detectors. So when motion is detected, it can trigger the entire backyard to illuminate, trigger a Alexa to tell you that something's happening, or trigger a camera to start recording. Very inexpensive and a very easy solution to put in. The floodlight, battery version to be mounted anywhere, and then a wired floodlight for additional floodlight opportunities. This is the one I kind of want to talk about. So the bridge is the Wi-Fi to RF bridge, because all these devices talk over 900 megahertz. This is required for every job that has the Ring Smart Lighting on it. You can use up to 100 devices, no, 50 devices, I apologize, and up to 1,000 feet. Standalone motion detector can be utilized for these homes that have the doorbell mounted to the side of the door and not facing the front door. So you put this motion detector at the front of the garage or right above the door frame. So when motion is detected, it can alert a camera to start recording and alert you that there's somebody at the front door before the camera video comes into view. And then lastly, the transformer. The transformer is kind of the hidden gem. So if you've got existing low voltage lighting, or if you wanted to use something like a Coastal Source, if you're out running the Sonance 1SR or any of these outdoor speaker solutions, run another 16.2 out there, power up your high profit, high powered LEDs and plug them in this transformer. 12 or 15 volt DC with up to 200 watts of power. These are 99 bucks a piece. Considering other transformers that aren't Alexa enabled or don't have time clock functionalities are $350, this is a slam dunk for your homeowner. Setup could not be easier. You simply plug in the Ring bridge. Plug in the Ring bridge via micro USB. You add it to the network utilizing the Ring app. Add your lights and group them together. Once one light detects motion, the entire backyard will light up. Now you have a group that says the backyard. You can say, Alexa, turn on the backyard, and all these lights will come on all at once. Now, going back to the security cameras, there is a link to this, I promise. The Spotlight Cam wired is a perfect solution for getting the extra labor because you're hardwiring the product in. When motion is detected, not only will it illuminate the LEDs on the side, it also has a AC triggered out to power up any other lights, sconce lights, other spotlights, other floodlights. I've had one of these lights utilized where there was a row of 3 floodlights around a garage. When motion was detected, turned on those illuminating LED strips, and then turned on the other 3 floodlights because they were all wired together by the electrician. The Ring Floodlight Cam is also a great solution. It's 249 bucks, provides high output floodlight. This is perfect for any of the homes that you guys are into on a day-to-day basis, but there's a level of customer that has a home with an interior designer or an architect who does not want to see these types of cameras, and we're getting the number one ask is, how do we get something a little bit more sophisticated on these larger homes than the Spotlight Cam that they can pick up anywhere? Here's a solution. Buy the Ring transformer in the bridge, get a Spotlight Cam Elite, which is very, very small, mount that to the outside of the home, powered over PoE. Then within the app, you simply add a link device. So select the back deck. When the back deck detects motion, then I have it office, but it's actually the transformer light will turn on. That gives you an off-the-shelf solution with a custom product, allowing you to add on to that labor and provide a solution that they can't necessarily just go out and shop. So now I'll move on to the partner program. And this was unveiled at CEDIA this year. And I feel like you guys are going to have a great time looking at this. So we want to create a better place to live, work, and play. And we do that because of you guys. You know, we have a very simple product. It's very easy to install. We have a lot of choices of flexible mounting solutions. So the partner community, you guys, they matter to us. You guys are on the forefront selling our products, and we want to kind of help pay that back a little bit. So things like lead generation, being able to list it on the Ring website as a preferred installer, allowing for your app to have your customer's app to have your contact information when they need help directly from the app. Marketing support, being able to do co-branded email blasts. When we unveil a new product, it will come from you because we'll have your logo, we'll have your customer list of customers that you've installed. And when we unveil a new product, it's going to sound like it's come from you. Having a dedicated training and tech support line for you guys is imperative. And then finally, financial incentives that allow you to, that reward you for doing more business with Ring. So this is kind of the tiers and benefits, right? You go to ringpartnerprogram.com, register your company, that you become a member, right? Then you would be able to select either your Premier or Premier Elite. From the Premier, you'd have things like market development funding, additional margin incentives. But then the Premier Elite group, and this is all based on the financial goals that have been set, we'll have things like field sales engagement, educational co-investment, deployment support for doing larger deployments. So essentially, you would have 12 months to achieve this tier level, be it either by revenue, getting training and certification, and then marketing engagement. What I will have, this is going to be coming soon in January. Go to ringpartnerprogram.com, register your company, and we'll be in touch a little bit further as things progress. So let's talk about the Ring app, the Protect plans, and some of the lifetime theft protection. So the Ring app, if you have guys that have not installed it, it could not be simpler. Simply download the Ring app, put in your address, use the QR code on the back of the device with the app camera. It'll automatically pair to the Wi-Fi network, your phone to that Ring device. That Ring device will then connect to your Wi-Fi network, and you're off to the races. Very, very simple to install, very low skill to do it. They'll have the Ring Neighbors app built right into the app itself. From that app, you'll have a lot of different choices. Being able to view the cameras live, being able to answer previous recorded if you have a Protect plan, as well as doing device health, checking the battery levels, checking the Wi-Fi speed, as well as overall network management. The Protect plans are completely optional. If you do not have a plan, you can view live, you can answer motion, you can answer rings, but the only thing you can't do is go back 60 days and look at the motion alerts. If you wanted that, it'd be $3 per month per device, or $30 a year per device. And that'll give you 60 days of every ring motion and live view event. Once you get past around 3 cameras, you may as well step up to the Protect Plus. It's $10 a month or $100 a year, and that gives you the same 60-day access, but it's unlimited cameras. It also gives you your customer an extended warranty and includes professional monitoring if they have the Ring alarm. Want to talk just a couple of minutes about the lifetime theft protection. At any point, your customers installed cameras or doorbells. If they are ever stolen, provide a police report to us within 14 days. We will replace that product free of charge for the lifetime of the product. Taking these numbers is going to be really important. If you're on the job site and you have troubleshooting needs, call the 800 number, but ask to be transferred to RSA. If you ask to be transferred to RSA, that'll give you a level 2 tech support until we have our dedicated support line. This is kind of the way to go. You will need to be on site though in order to troubleshoot, because you'll be acting on behalf of the customer. You can always email us at help@ring.com or chat with us live at ring.com. youtube.com/ring has all of your installation tutorials, as well as product information that you can help co-brand off of your website or social media pages. And then lastly, there's a website called learnaboutring.com. That is where you can take training, certification, or have your techs go and learn these modules. Very easy to digest, 2 to 3 minute installation tips and tricks. Learnaboutring.com. So that's where you can get one sheets and marketing data. I absolutely flew through that. So I have nothing else right now, but I wanted to open up the floor to any questions you guys might have.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, we do have some questions that came up already. Hold on a moment. Right. Okay, so it seems like we have two different types of questions about product and then questions about the new program. So let's start with the product questions.
I like those questions.
Okay. All right. So neighbor mode. You said that, or I'm sorry, the neighborhood app.
Mhm.
You can view events that happened on other neighbors' cameras. Is there a way to choose which events would not go up there? I mean, if a person has privacy concerns and they don't necessarily want the trigger of their spouse arriving home from school with the kids to go on, it would be a triggered event for the family to see that, the that car arrived home every day at 4 o'clock, but they don't necessarily want the neighbors to see that event. Is there a way to prevent which events do and do not go onto the neighbor app?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to answer this twofold. So, firstly, anyone who has downloaded the app, you can either give them like if it's a family, you can have one login for the entire family, or you can set them up as shared users and give them access to certain aspects of the cameras. So if it's the kid, you don't want them to have access to the alarm, but you want them to have access to the front door or back door. Or if it's a grandparent or relative, you want them to have access to those cameras, you're more than welcome to send and share full access to certain cameras of your choosing. The Ring Neighbors app is a little bit different. Just like posting to Facebook, um, if you have an event that you want to share with the neighbors, you have to go through that video and hit the share to neighbors button. It is not default. It does not default to sharing to the neighbors. So, obviously a huge privacy concern. The Neighbors app is completely elective in what is shown on that app. Me personally, I think I've showed 2 videos, and they've always been about, foxes or raccoons in my neighborhood because not a lot of crime happens. But no, it is completely elective what is shown on that Neighbors app.
Okay, perfect. All right. Yeah, that's definitely addresses that concern. Okay, the next question is for the Stick-Up Camera Elite, the new model that you said
Yes.
is due to start shipping soon.
Mhm.
Um, it's PoE powered. Um, is the connection a weatherized RJ or some other form of weatherized connection?
That is a great question. It is outdoor rated. The RJ45 connection is attached on the inside of the camera, and there is a casing that goes around the RJ45.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So it's definitely not something that's exposed outside, like some of the outdoor access points have that gasketed boot thing. So it's something like that.
No, it is not a gasketed boot. From what I've been able to see, is that it is an access hole, and since it's on the bottom of the camera, moisture doesn't necessarily get up inside of it, but it is sealed for outdoor use. Um, I think if you had any real concerns, you could obviously take a little bit of silicone and caulk around that opening, but it is designed for um, an outdoor environment with that RJ45 connected.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait to open one up. We should have them soon, from what I was told.
Mhm. Now,
Okay.
I will say that the Stick-Up Cam Elite is physically the same as the Stick-Up Cam Wired, which we've been selling, but we have now included the PoE injector, which is why the price is raised $20 from 179 to 199. So if you have a Stick-Up Cam Wired, it's going to look the identical to the Stick-Up Cam Elite.
Okay, nice. All right. Thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
All right. Um, Johnny's got a question about the stick-up cam and its motion sensor. So does the stick-up cam, if it doesn't have an internal motion sensor, is it just using um, information from the video feed? So Rich, did you go over how to draw motion zones?
No, I did not.
Okay, I think, is that something you could pop up really fast, or is that on your current slide deck?
Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. I don't actually have it on my slide deck, but I might be able to. Um,
All right.
no, I don't have that ability right now to
So
show that
Johnny,
up.
I've seen this done a bunch of times. So traditional IP cams have something that looks kind of like a Rubik's cube, or like the old mosaic mode with little pixel blocks. The Ring is a little different, where you can actually draw the zones. So you can draw the sidewalk, or exclude the bush, or exclude the, like a dog run or something like that might be in a field of view. and you can have it very narrowly search for motion within a certain portion of the image, and then have it trigger from that. So you don't necessarily need like an outdoor PIR or an outdoor motion sensor. You can actually use the video itself to trigger the motion, to trigger the event. Okay. So Johnny's asking an extra question here.
Okay.
Is there any difference in the camera quality between the stick-up cam PoE and the cameras that are in the Spotlight Cam, Floodlight Cam?
No, they are not. There is the camera is the same. What you're getting with the stick-up cam is the additional motion sense and the additional IR motion sensor and the LED lights.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right. So Gregory has a question about the alarm packages. So we currently only have the one package available through distribution for the CI channel, but we've got larger packages that are sold through Amazon and some of the retail partners. Are any of the larger kits going to be available through the CI channel distribution?
Eventually, there will be some new kits that are coming to market. As of right now, just the 5-piece kit, and then you build from there.
Okay, and then yeah, we're definitely excited about this new retrofit add-on piece to use kind of more discrete sensors or existing sensors, like you said.
Yeah, there's been a lot of activity around this, and this was announced at the Amazon keynote. But the exciting thing is taking 8 zones of wired inputs, and you can use additional. If you have 24 zones, just buy 3 of them. It's a really awesome solution to be able to offer that retrofit and to pad that labor. Now we call it DIY, but just because we put a video up online, it's called advanced DIY, which means you guys should be doing this. Not necessarily want your dentist client to be in the basement hooking up contact closures.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, wiring up relays and wiring up sensors and stuff like that is probably not for the average DIY guy. Okay, all right. So Johnny's asking a follow-up question about the motion zone. So he was wondering if it uses cloud analytics or any other advanced AI to tell if it's a human or an animal versus like a shadow coming from tree branches or something like that. So what do you have any input on that? Like what type of what it would ignore versus what it would trigger?
Man, some great questions, and I am so excited you said it because I love talking about this, and I'm not being facetious. So there's been a lot of updates to the analytics over the last couple of weeks, to the AI or auto sensing. There's been a couple of changes. Now, one is the stick-up cam, when it's powered over PoE, actually pulls up a live view, and you're able to see draw fields, and it's based on pixel activity, not based on heat IR sensing. So you're going to get a advanced motion detection. So instead of getting a big giant heat sensor, and then we just kind of have that threshold, which is what our typical battery powered cameras do. You know, you have a field and a kind of a heat map, and when it exceeds that threshold that you've set, then it says that there's motion, right? The analytics are not there. It just doesn't work very well. I wouldn't say work very well. It doesn't work as good as the advanced motion detection that you get with the stick-up cam Elite or the Ring Video Doorbell Pro or the Ring Video Doorbell Elite. That actually has a live view that you draw fields, so you can ignore the flag flying and just get when someone walks up the pathway. From there, we then take things called people-only mode, where we can just detect if it's a person. So you can ignore the raccoons and the rabbits and the birds that fly around. There's a third one that is coming out, and I believe it has been released. It may be coming out very shortly, but it's going to be advanced detection. So it's going to essentially look at the video feed, and if it's pertinent motion, it will alert you. If it's not, then it will just ignore it and not record it. So you're going to get a lot of, when a leaf blows by, the AI will detect that it's a leaf blowing by and not alert you that it's an actual motion alert. And those are all selectable and adjustable from within the app. So if your homeowner gets too many motion detections of cars going by, or if they get too much motion alert, they can reduce the sensitivity down to just people only. And they can also enable the detection of the AI to kick back any non-relevant motion alerts.
Well, it sounds like they're definitely moving forward on that one.
Yeah,
Doing
it's
some cool
crazy.
things.
Just over the last couple of weeks, it's done some really cool software updates.
Nice. And you said predominantly it's on the Elite SKUs and like the Video Doorbell Pro as of right now. Is it
Yeah, I
going to
would
trickle?
say
I could see this helping out with
AC
the battery
powered.
powered units, maybe helping extend the battery life by not triggering a cloud recording of like leaves or squirrel running by or something like that. If
I would imagine so, but unfortunately, I'm not an
okay,
engineer. I wouldn't be able to tell you the why or why not. It's
okay,
that I know that as of
all
right
right,
now, when it's an AC powered product, it allows you to do that.
okay, all right, cool. Chris he asked if you would review the training website again, or maybe pop it up on your screen.
Sure. Give me just 1 second here. So learnaboutring.com. This is where you would go to see your dashboard. So you can see what you wanted to learn today. You can do modules on the indoor cam or the stick-up cam. You have printable guides that you can use. So when I click on the one-page sales sheets, it'll bring up all sorts of great products that you can see. It's things that you can provide for your customers, things you can provide in your businesses. And then you go through and look at these new training modules as well. So this is kind of the new website. I worked for a previous company that did something like this, but not nearly to the extent. And as our partner program, I've actually got a meeting next week to discuss the certification levels. As the Ring Partner Program launches, we'll be interfacing a lot of these modules to be used for certification to become a Ring Pro.
Okay.
So there's nothing that you necessarily need as far as like an access code or anything else. You just register for a username and password, and then we'll email it over to you.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that existed until just now. So we're having internal conversations about our professional development goals. So I think we might incorporate this and have staff training, have this be a part of what our staff takes for internal training as well.
Yeah,
Since
that's my goal.
we do a fair amount of not necessarily tech support, but system design support in our branches. So this is good information to have.
Yeah, well, Rick, you and I have known each other a long time, and I'm always a big fan of enabling the guys at the front counter and the guys that are taking the calls from our resellers to have as much information, or if not more, than the installers and integrators themselves. So I'm a huge proponent of this, and this is absolutely going to be part of the development for 2020 with the partner program and distributors.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I'll share this with Bill, and I think I can easily see this being added to our professional development curriculum for the staff. Cool. Well, thanks, Rich.
Cool.
Let's keep moving on. On the lighting, the outdoor lighting.
Yes.
So you mentioned that we can have the motion sensors turn the lights on. There are also motion sensors on some of these lights, right? So you can trigger any motion sensor from any sensor in the system to link to products either forward or backward up the chain, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you can have the, let me get over to that.
And as far, if you wanted to have something trigger a recording based on a motion sensor out in the yard, that maybe it's still not close enough to the house to trigger the motion sensor on the camera, you could have, if there's a motion sensor on the light, you could have it start recording even if it's not necessarily met the threshold requirement for the camera itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can do what's called link devices, as the video just showed, taking the, and you could start from the light itself to say when this motion detector on this light or this standalone motion sensor, I've got one of the motion detectors, I've got one of these mounted in the mailbox. So when the mailbox opens up, not only will alert Alexa to say that there's someone in my mailbox, it'll trigger a camera to start recording. And if it's at night, it'll trigger the lights to come on.
Well, that's actually really cool. So the motion detector, oh, it's right there on the screen. The motion detector is also battery powered.
Correct.
Nice.
3 AAA batteries.
Okay.
It's very, very tiny.
And I know we talked about this on when we had a dedicated session on the landscape lighting product, but what was the estimated range for the RF on these devices?
Estimated range is 1,000 feet from the bridge.
How on earth do they do that?
900 megahertz. So instead of utilizing Wi-Fi or Z-Wave, Z-Wave is what, 215 feet or 115 to 250 feet of usable range, right? Line of sight. 900 megahertz is the same frequency that your old cordless phone had, and you could talk to the backyard if you wanted to. It's going to be the same technology. So utilizing that frequency spectrum allows us to get low power, high range with low bandwidth.
Okay, yeah, and I imagine it's not a very sophisticated. There's not a lot of different communications going on. It's not like we're trying to transmit and rebroadcast data or something like that. It's kind of just triggers and things like that. So
Correct. It's
it just
literally
needs to be.
it's literally putting two commands. It's receiving an on-off command or it's sending an on-off command, and then our AI takes care
Nice.
of everything else.
Nice. Okay. All right. Perfect.
And then once again, the transformer, that is going to be your ace in the hole. If you guys want labor and you want to have a unique solution, providing the transformer to take over their existing lights or to start into the landscape lighting business, I mean, this is a great way to do it.
You know, on that note, I wanted to address this. I wrote down on my notes to talk about transformer because we've had maybe 3 or 4 instances where we get an order. Usually it's from somebody who orders off the website. And they put this transformer in the shopping cart as the power supply for one of the video doorbells or one of the cameras, when this is for the outdoor cameras for like using existing like Malibu lights to wire them up. So can you pull up on the Ring website or something like that the power supplies for the door camera and the power supply for the stick up cam so that people can see, because they have different part numbers altogether.
Let's see. I think I can do that.
Because that transformer it's reasonable for what it is, but it's certainly way overpriced for powering a video doorbell.
Right.
Not to mention it's not the right product.
Let me see here really quick.
And
So
while you're pulling that up, David has
yeah,
a question about the transformer. Can the outdoor transformer be set up for normal use for either manual on-off through the app, or is there a way to set up time clock events or astronomic time clock events on these outdoor light products?
absolutely. Yeah, from the app itself, you can either have triggered actions, or you can have the astronomical time clock. You can have a light schedule to say it comes on or off either at dawn, it turns on at dusk, or turns light off at dawn, or you can have it turn off at a custom time. And then you can have a schedule to say that it's enabled on Monday through Friday, it's going to come on and off. But maybe on Saturday and Sunday, it doesn't come on at all.
Okay, perfect. All right, and yet now I see your screen there. So
All right, so the hardwired transfer for the Ring Video Doorbell Pro and 2, $29 retail, that is hardwired. And then I've got a plug-in transformer as well.
yeah, and the
For 20.
hardwired one is very similar to the one that you would get from like Ace Hardware or Lowe's. It's almost interchangeable, but
Correct.
obviously we've got them if you need them.
Correct.
Yep, and there's our guy right there, the plug-in adapter.
Now, I wanted to speak to 2 seconds about this. So when I'm out in the field and I'm talking to you guys and you say you are looking for an AC adapter to power a Ring Pro, a lot of you just go off the shelf with like a DSC or something like that. Keep in mind, if you don't use the plug-in adapter or you don't use the hardwired AC adapter and you're using an off the shelf, just because it's 16 volt and just because it's 30 VA, if it doesn't have surge protection, you're going to fry the doorbell and you're going to fry the transformer. Because the doorbell, in order for it to work, it has to short itself out to initiate the mechanical chime. If it doesn't have surge protection, every time it makes that connection and shorts it out, it's going to reduce that life. So if you don't use this plug-in adapter, you don't use the hardwired AC, which has surge protection built in, you have to buy a transformer that is AC 16 volt, preferably 30 VA. You can get by with 20, that has surge protection built in. And there is a white list under the support page of appropriate plug-in adapters and appropriate mechanical door chimes.
Wow, perfect. I didn't know that. I know that we sell a lot of plug-in adapters, and usually when someone puts a transformer in the shopping cart, what they really want is plug-in adapter. But usually it's just a phone call to make them aware that they put the wrong product in the basket. All right. Well, thanks for addressing that one, Rich.
You're welcome.
One more. Johnny has some feedback. He said the retrofit security thing is awesome. Thanks, Johnny.
Awesome.
All right.
I like Johnny. Johnny's a good guy.
Yeah. So Johnny has a follow-up question. He goes, is the retrofit security piece or the alarm in general, does it have a battery backup option or can be connected to an existing traditional security system's backup battery if the system is, let's say that the old Band-Aid brown enclosure is still left in the crawl space or in the mechanical room with the
Band-Aid
little
brown
motorcycle battery in it?
Yes, so the Ring Retro does have batteries, and that operates as a Z-Wave product. So, and that battery is going to last, a year, 2 years. The Ring Alarm has a 24-hour battery backup. So the power can be out for 24 hours and has a cell backup as well. So if it is monitored and an alarm event does happen, even if the power's out, even if the internet is down, still will interact with the monitoring company and still will call the police or the fire department. And you'll get an alert too. I find it is a really good way to let me know when my network is down. I'll get an alert that says your Ring alarm is on battery backup right now.
Nice. Okay, and then as for the retrofit device that has batteries that it just kind of uses the batteries for its power during its life, this is just like any other Ring device. It'll let you know when the batteries need to be replaced. It'll set up a notification on the app.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then, hey, speaking of monitoring, I guess we have a couple monitoring questions here. We can go ahead and segue.
Yep.
We're all about professionalism here, Rich. We segue right from topic to topic. Philippa is asking a question about monitoring without being subscribed. So what monitoring would take place if you did not have the alert subscription?
If you did not have the Ring Protect plan in place, it would be called a thing called self-monitoring. So the alert would come through your phone and all connected Ring devices that have access to that alarm alert that something is happening. From there, you can go and look at your cameras and then call the police yourself.
Okay, so it's strictly just going to go to the devices, or like you said, if you've got like the Amazon Alexa little tape, I don't know what that thing's called, the little tabletop monitor thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Echo Show or
the screen. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Mhm.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
it would
something
go
like
there.
that can make noise, or it can pop up a screen. You can have it. You can set up a behavior for it to automatically do something.
No, not necessarily. But
Okay.
what you would get is that you would get that the alarm is going off from your phone, and you'd get an alert that the alarm is going off from your
Okay.
phone. You then open up the phone, and you can look at the camera from wherever you are, and
But
then
if you
make
had
the
something
decision.
like that on your nightstand and you had the system in home mode, you you could have it pop up so you could view the whatever the camera was that um, has the last sensor, or I
Yeah,
don't know
so
what I'm saying.
there's a I'll talk about this. I'm kind of getting to your point sideways, but the if you're in bed asleep, the alarm goes off, you can actually schedule link devices just like we did talked about with the lights. When the alarm is an entry delay, so someone's coming into your home before they disarm the alarm, or if it's the alarm is going off, you can trigger cameras to record at those times. So I've got an interior camera in my home that is pointed to my back door. When my alarm is armed and I walk in the door, before I disarm the alarm, if I open up the door and I didn't use my unlock code, and the alarm was saying, you have 60 seconds to disarm it or we're going to call the police, right? So you can actually trigger an event that says when the alarm is in entry delay or in alarm mode, you can have the cameras, particularly indoor cameras, to be recording during those periods. But honestly,
Okay.
Rick, if the alarm was going off and you wanted the Echo Show to show you what was at the front door, like my first concern would be to disarm the alarm or to go find out what's going on, as opposed to just asking Alexa to show me something in the camera.
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't know if there was a way to have it pop up the last camera that had that showed a motion event or something like that. I don't know. All right. So then she asks a follow-up question here about what about notifications with just the camera, again, without a Protect subscription? So I guess
Without a
this is a
subscription.
traditional conversation of how the doorbells work since day one, correct?
Correct. Yeah. If you'd get an alert that there's motion at your front door, you'd be able to answer that within 30 seconds and you would view what was happening in real time. You would not be able to go back in time and look at it, but you would get a notification that there's motion or that there's a ring at your front door, and then you can pull that camera in real time and look at it without a subscription.
Okay. And then we don't now. I don't want to disparage another product because we also sell some other products, but the brand it starts with an N. They have tiered subscriptions where you can view.
Are you talking about
Um,
NetStreams?
I'm definitely not talking about NetStreams. Um, thank you for giving me cold sweats.
You're welcome.
So the other brand that starts with an N, I
They
want
do.
to say they have a 7-day cloud backup and then a longer cloud backup, maybe a 30. But you've got it. Yours is either 0 or 60, correct?
Correct. 0 or 60, and they're motion. It's not 24/7. Some would see that
Yeah.
as an advantage. Some would see it as a disadvantage. I know that some of my friends who've had cameras from NetStreams, they like to have that 24/7 recording, and that's awesome. But it does tap into your bandwidth and if your ISP allows you a certain data cap for what you upload, then it's probably not the camera for you.
Sure, because again, it's communicating to the cloud every time.
Correct.
So it's not like a traditional NVR or DVR where the storage is local and you're archiving it, you're accessing it through your data only when you want to see it. In this case, every single time there's a motion event and it's doing a recording, it's reading and writing to the cloud using data.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And on that note, I mean, obviously we've got camera solutions from brands like Luma that have 24/7 recording capability, and you can archive, you can go back and view, and you can set flags so that you can easily locate when motion events happen, or you can just, watch the lawn grow, whichever you'd want to do. Um, So Johnny says should not be overlooked that $10 a month for both security monitoring and all camera cloud backup is an amazing deal. It's even better when you're only paying for 10 months and you get the last 2 months for free because it's $100 annual.
That's right.
So yeah, it's an insanely ridiculous deal. So the minute that we heard about it, the word disruptive came to mind because this is certainly gonna, it's gonna cause some traditional, security companies that only offer security are going to be impacted. So it's a good thing we sell a lot of audio, video, and other products as well.
Yeah,
So
and
we can
don't overlook
spread
that
it around.
opportunity. Don't overlook that opportunity, right? So this product is not a high margin product. I mean, let's call it spade a spade, right? So your customers are going to call you and they're going to say, "Hey, I saw this commercial with Shaq on TV. I want one of those cameras in my house." You're going to walk in. You're going to call Rick up. You're going to say, "Hey, I need that Shaq camera." Rick's going to say, "I've got that Shaq camera. Here you go." And then you drive to the distributor, you pick it up, or they have it shipped to you. You install it. That is a huge opportunity that allows you to talk about a couple of things. So anytime you're installing more than one camera, I mean, honestly, if you're having even installing one camera, you need to be talking about networking. So if you're not managing that network on a cloud-based product, you need to be. Rick and Snap and everybody else has got a great solution for networking. I personally use Eero. I also work for the company. But if you're not taking the opportunity to say, all right, we're installing a cloud product. If your internet is not strong enough, if you're using the router that came with Comcast or Spectrum, we need to have a discussion on upgrading that to something a little bit more robust, something that will actually get the Wi-Fi signal out into the front door past the aluminum siding or the brick or the plaster and lathe and the horsehair, whatever you've got installed. So you can have that conversation on networking. Now that you're having the conversation on networking and you're providing that solution, that you're gaining trust with that customer, you're gaining mind share. From there, you can have those other discussions that bring in a lot of money. You can have the discussions on audio, you can have the discussions on television. Using Ring as a cornerstone as your marketing tools, being the Ring leader, so to speak, allows you to have a lot more say in how the customer comes in and not just focusing on that one sale of that one camera. You can have the discussions of multiple cameras. You can have the discussion on networking. And now that you've got the gain of the trust of the customer, you can talk about other things like, I noticed your television is old. Would you like to be able to have the Ring camera show up on that Samsung television? I can make that happen. We just need to upgrade your television. Or we can have the discussion of upgraded soundbar in the other room. While I'm here, is there any other needs that you need? The other beauty is that when these products get re-announced, typical Ring homeowner has 3 to 5 devices. If you're not selling 3 to 5 devices, they're going to go get it somewhere else. So having those conversations, even a follow-up to say, you've been using the Ring for a couple of months now. How is your network doing? How is the products? Have you ever thought about adding additional Ring cameras to your backside of your property or covering your pool? You can have these conversations and it's not abrasive and there's no friction because they love the product. You put it in, it just works if you've got the correct network backbone. And that's where your expertise comes in. And I'm going to get off my soapbox.
That's nice. By the way, John commented that your pun, ringleader, did not go unnoticed. He said kudos to you.
I've got lots of them.
There you go. All right, so we do have an additional question here from Danny, our own Danny, who I thought was in Mexico, but apparently he's not. Danny said, is there any conversation to have an internal product, full-blown smoke CO2 detector, or are we going to continue with the listener and use third-party smoke COs?
There is third-party smoke COs. I think First Alert makes one that interacts with it. I don't like talking about future products because A, they're not here, and B, you can't sell them because they don't exist yet. So you can have those discussions all day. We're always going to be looking to improve products and invent for the customer, but there's nothing I can discuss today that would concern anything over the CO listener, which is what we offer right now.
Okay, so I think the question usually gets prompted because the competing platform has a smoke/CO that's networked in, but you said we do have one from the third party. The First Alert unit will talk straight to the Nest system. Is it like a Z-Wave product?
Not the Nest system. What Nest system are you talking about? What is
Whoa,
Nest?
what? Hold on. What?
What?
Um,
The Ring system, you mean?
yeah, I don't. What? Did I just have a mini stroke? I meant the Ring.
Oh
The
man.
Ring alarm, Rich.
Yes, a company called First Alert. I don't know if you've ever seen those smoke detectors. They make a Z-Wave version that is a
Okay.
smoke detector, CO detector, and that interfaces directly with Ring.
Now is that on the same type of whitelist thing like we were just talking about earlier with compatible products?
Correct.
Where would I find that part number?
Actually, if you go to Ring's website and look up Ring security accessories, we actually sell it on our website, but it is a third party like Dome. Dome is an auxiliary siren, but it's not something that we manufacture. We just sell as a third party.
Perfect. Okay. All right. And so now let's get to the questions about the new pro partner program.
Okay.
So we've got some questions here about if consumers are buying into the full blown $100 annual, is there any RMR opportunity for the installing dealer at that point?
As of now, the discussion, or as of now, the situation is no. There's not enough meat on the bone for RMR share. We're always looking at the model, and we're always looking to see how we can further enhance the relationship between Ring and the integrator. There's a lot of things on the table right now, a lot of moving parts. Those are part of the discussions, but today, no, there's no RMR share. What you would be getting is padding that labor and padding the installation cost to get your share of the product out of it.
Okay, and then again, to circle back to your slide deck, this is all TBD, but there's additional margin opportunity for people who register and hit their goals. So that would obviously be a part of that, because if you're not just selling a doorbell and a couple of cameras, but if you're selling a doorbell, a couple of cameras, and an alarm system on every project, you're going to pretty easily hit those goals and unlock additional. Is it discount levels or rebates, or is that still all TBD and not really ready for prime time?
Not ready for prime time. Once the lawyers sign off on some things, we'll be able to talk more, and that discussion will be happening shortly. As of right now, no, it's all generalized and purposely generalized until we can get full legal
Sure.
sign off. Well, I'm
Yeah,
about 90% there. I'm just waiting on the final 10 to be able to discuss it.
Yeah, and this is going to be archived, so I don't really want to have this up until everything's ready to be discussed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, but honestly, part of the reason that we wanted to schedule you in this slot for this month was because we've got all these new cameras coming out, and we really wanted to focus on that. So I'm really glad that you were willing and able to join us today to kind of peek behind the curtain of this new Pro Partner program, even though we really don't have as many details to discuss as we usually like to have when we host a webinar. But we were able to talk about all the cool cameras, and that retrofit thing for the Ring alarm is freaking awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So Johnny's looked up security retrofit, and he said on the Ring Store website it says available to ship 11/22. So yeah, earlier in the presentation, Rich said that we're starting to take pre-orders. So I'm with AllNet, and I don't think we have our SKU lit up yet, but we should have it lit up any day. We basically follow Ring's suggestion. They kind of give us a timeline as to when they would like us to be able to accept pre-orders from the CI channel. But yeah, it's good news. If the website says it's going to ship in 11 days or whatever, 9 days, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is very, 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 very quickly coming, which is why I'm able to talk about
it. Nice. Okay. Let me see. Monitoring. I think we've answered all these questions. I'm poking through the questions again to double check to make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, here's a question that I skipped apparently. Um, what do you recommend for exterior cameras for a single family dwelling? I think we need some more information. Do you need lights or do you not need lights? And do you have power out there or do you not have power? So I mean, there's a couple qualifying questions to be asked for that.
Right. The single family home, if you have the discussion of, now that you're going to be putting in the front door camera, have the discussion of, do you have power in the back? Do you have a detached garage that you could attach a floodlight cam to? Do you have an existing light up on the eave or overhang that you could replace with a spotlight cam mount, for instance? Those type of questions you just can ask during the site survey and during the pre-consultation period with the customer. If Needless to say, we've got solutions for everything. I've got a camera on the very back corner of my property attached to the utility pole with a solar panel. No power. I've got strong Wi-Fi through Eero, and it's being charged constantly through solar panel. So I've got no worries whatsoever with the system performance, and I don't have power, and I don't have a hardwired network connection back there, but I still am able to see it in real time. So it really depends on what the homeowner is expecting and what the homeowner would like to see. If you've got a large property and you wanted to integrate with the lighting, by all means do that. You're going to get the most bang for your buck and be able to provide a solution that's not necessarily something that's going to be shopped. So you can make the most amount of money. But during those site surveys, just be cognizant of all of the different types of solutions and cameras we can provide and just kind of act accordingly. I've got a single family home and I've got 5 cameras on the outside of my house.
Nice. Okay. So question on that, on your application. So you've got that one mounted out there with the solar.
Mhm.
Um, what type of extension do you get on that battery life? Is it going to extend it kind of indefinitely, or does that kind of depend on how many motion triggers and how much data it's trying to communicate back?
It really depends on how much motion happens. If you've got a camera that is doing 20 to 30 recordings a day, then obviously battery life is going to be impacted. My backyard has, when I added the solar panel, um, the battery went from I think ended up lasting. I had 2 batteries in there that lasted 2 months. Um, Put the solar panel on there a week or so ago, and it's been charging up. I think right now my one battery is at 9%, my other battery is at 64%.
Wow.
So it can
All
charge
right.
it indefinitely.
Nice. Nice. Okay. All right. So yeah, but we had I think when we had you on earlier, or maybe in a previous training before you were with the company, um, we were told to always top off your battery before you connect a solar charger, because you can't count the solar charger to charge the battery initially, only to help maintain its charge. So I guess we should mention that.
Yeah, it's always the best practice. It only takes about 2 to 3 hours to fully charge the battery via micro USB.
Okay. All right. So, we've got this is a good question that always seems to pop up, particularly here in the branches, because uh, we're in the middle of some of the states that have pretty strict alarm and security licensing.
Correct.
Is the Ring alarm, does it require a security license for professional installation versus DIY? For a professional installation, it's going to be monitored. Would it require a professional license, or does that vary by state?
It obviously varies by state, but if you guys are in the business of providing security, you need to have a security license. If you are not in the business of providing security, please ignore the first 30 minutes of the conversation. There's a lot of strict rules when it comes to security with background checks, certifications, and there's a reason why the security installers charge what they do. There's a lot that goes into being a registered security installer. And if you are not a part of that conversation, you aren't part of that business, I wouldn't recommend selling or installing the Ring alarm system, because it provides a lot of liability on your part that I can't mention just because I'm not licensed in your state as a person. I'm not licensed to install security systems. So when my friends and my neighbors ask what kind of security system I should get, obviously I'll tell them to go get it themselves, or to hire a professional to install it. Not necessarily for, or not just for the ease of mind of having someone who is registered with the state know where all of the security weaknesses are in the home, but also from a standpoint of being able to stand behind the product if something does happen, they can go back to the security installer to find out what some of the details were. If you weren't registered, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Okay, well, I guess that's a good point. All right.
That goes along with any
So,
security products that you install.
sure, absolutely, yeah. All right. So I guess kind of last call for questions. If anyone has any additional questions for Rich, please type them into the questions tab. We've gotten to kind of the end of the questions that have already been posed. And I don't have anything else on my notes that I wanted to chat about. And Rich, I want to say thanks for the plug on Eero. We were kind of glad to see you get on board with the company because we knew you had a really good experience with the product, going back to your days with the other vendor when you were looking for a wireless product, and we said, you should try these guys.
Yeah, you guys
Their stuff
actually
is pretty
sold me my
solid.
Eero system, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we're glad
Now
it
I'm here.
worked out really well for you.
Seem to be okay.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So Garrick is asking, are you comfortable sharing your contact info on top of the contact info that you had on the screen for, and also, do you want to pop that info back up on the screen for the Ring support line?
Yes, I'll do that.
There you go.
And bear with me just 1 second and I can pull that up.
Garrick, just hit me up after hours and I'll give you Rich's personal cell phone and home
Do
address.
that. All right. 1 second, I'll pull up. Actually, I have a, for everyone in the country, I've got a contact list for everybody.
Oh, nice.
I switched computers, so now I'm trying to territory map. No.
Oh, you know what? We did have an additional question. So one of the applications that you mentioned was to have the doorbell show up on all the TVs in the house. And this is also for Garrick. I think this is probably what he's going to ask you. You were mentioning a matrix, and I think you were talking about integrating with like a third-party product, like some other products that companies like AllNet sell.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, okay, yeah. So yeah, definitely we don't have a video matrix through Ring at this point, but
No, you
yeah.
would take
So
your
us as
video
integrators, we can. This is where we pull out the magic, and it's custom with a K. We make it
yeah, you put
so
the
they can watch.
cuss in custom.
There you go.
No, you would simply provide like an Amazon Fire Stick and plug that into your matrix.
Okay. Nice. Well, there we go. Look at this. We got the whole map here.
So if you live in the orange states, you contact me. My information is below. If you live in the blue states, and these are Ring colors, they're not necessarily political colors. If you live on the West Coast, you'd call Pete Hollenhorst. His number and contact information is there. And then on the East Coast, it would be Jeff Miller. And if you notice, they have Eero email addresses because Ring and Eero are together on the custom side. So anything Eero related, you would email me or Pete or Jeff. Anything Ring related, you would do the same.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks for putting that up, Rich. All right. So, and we'll go ahead and we'll end the webinar archive before we post that, so you're not gonna get a bunch of end user stuff coming from your participation with us today, Rich.
Fantastic.
We'll try anyway.
Unlike the last time.
Okay. Oh, well, that was because I posted it myself. All right. So everyone, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining us. Um, it looks like we're all done with the Q&A. We don't have any additional questions. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today. If anyone has any questions about the CEUs or kind of any other thoughts or comments about the webinar series that we do, if you've got any suggestions for content or for vendors that you'd like to see on the series, please feel free to give me shoot me an email at rick.murphy@allnetdistributing.com, ALLNET distributing.com. And then also I want to thank you, Rich, for taking the time to join us today. It was a really informative presentation, and we're really looking forward to a lot of these new products, particularly this retrofit kit for the alarm. And oh, by the way, for anyone who hasn't seen the indoor yet, it's in stock in all the branches. Go see it. It's tiny. It's absolutely tiny. When Rich said it looks like the Mini Me or the Minion, it's small. I mean, it's not much bigger than a 35 millimeter film canister, which I don't even know if people even understand what that is anymore. But I would like to think that everyone in the call is probably
So
of
old.
the age where they recognize they know what a 35 millimeter film canister looked like. But that's about the size of it.
That's a good
So
analogy. Yeah, that's a good size
yeah,
comparison.
yeah. I'm trying to figure. I mean, because I was thinking like miniature pop can. It's way smaller than that. So like even those little small, like the ones you get when you go to a convention or whatever, like those little miniature cans of pop. It's even smaller than those.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely smaller than that.
yeah.
Travel size
So
Excedrin container, maybe.
ooh, yeah. All right. Alrighty. So Rich, thanks again for your time today. We're gonna go ahead and end the session now.
All right, thank you.